Did you see that Trump told the NATO chief he's taking Canada? I did not see Trump tell the NATO chief he's taking Canada. That sounds insane, but I will try to figure out what you're talking about. He had a meeting with Secretary General Mark Rutte and discussed Greenland and Canada. Can we watch this?
We're going to be discussing a lot of things. Obviously, we'll be discussing what's happening with respect to Ukraine and Russia.
Okay. I did something about this. I saw that Putin tentatively seems to agree to the ceasefire, but the rules are so, it like bans Ukraine from ever getting more military training or weaponry, or they can't do anything to get stronger in any way, which, you know, it's like, well, that's their natural inclination after they've just been invaded, you know, it's.
But when you look at Trump 47,
It's going to be hard to tell.
what happened the last couple of weeks is really staggering. The Europeans committing to a package of 800 billion defense spending.
Yeah.
The Germans now, potentially up to $500 billion.
Yeah, by the way, you know, we talked about this in the stream. Maybe you heard it, maybe you invested on it, maybe you thought about it. But 6 hours ago, the Rheinmetall German company said, hey, we're going to take over empty Volkswagen plants and use them to make tanks. I sort of said that like jokingly as an example of like Germany taking its deindustrialized car factories and transitioning to a weaponry. They're doing that literally. They're literally 100% going to buy all of these factories that are closing down and turn them into weapons factory. I mean, it's like it was 100% accurate.
And you have a huge defense industrial base. Europeans buying 4 times more here than.
I mean, this is where I have a split mind. Where I can agree with this guy on the idea that, hey, you have to have an industrial base to make military. You can't be like importing shit from China if you're ever going to have a military conflict with China. But you know, he's just so enthusiastic about the idea that every country's going to start spending a ton more money on war. That's like, historically, that's always a bad sign. Like if every country starts beefing up the amount of weapons they make and we're in an arms race with Russia and China, it's like not, maybe it's a needed thing to do. I'm not going to discount that, but certainly not an exciting thing. It's like, it would be great if we had demilitarization of Russia and China and demilitarization here and we all spent less money. I mean, every dollar you're spending on tanks, bombs, guns, and missiles. There's a great quote about this. I'm trying to paraphrase it poorly. But, you know, it's like directly taking food out of the mouth of a child. You know, that money could go to other causes.
And the successful talks in Saudi Arabia now with the Ukrainians. I really want to commend you for this. So, the Hague is my
Nobel
hometown.
Peace
I would love
Prize?
to host you there.
When you have the Secretary General of NATO, who's a Dutch guy, glazing how much you're projecting American power, it feels like he's patronizing you. It feels like he's just saying, you know, he's like saying whatever it is to keep you on board. It feels like, so you're so strong, you're so big, America's so cool and great. Rather than just speaking from his own POV and interests, that rubs me the wrong way.
Paying their fair share.
Thank you, Mr. President. A representative of Canada, the finance minister, are in town and will meet members of your administration during the day. Any chances that you will ban
Canada.
all the tariffs on aluminum and
Canada.
and the ones that are planned for April 2nd?
No.
You are not going to change your
No,
mind?
not. Look, we've been ripped off for years, and we're not going to be ripped off anymore. No, I'm not going to bend at all. In the case of Canada, we're spending $200 billion a year to subsidize Canada. I love Canada. I love the people of Canada. I have many friends in Canada.
Oh, well, there you go.
The great one, Wayne Gretzky, the great. Hey, how good is Wayne Gretzky?
He's friends with the great one, dude.
You know, the United States can't subsidize a country for $200 billion a year. We don't need their cars. We don't need their energy. We don't need their lumber.
That's not the case. And subsidize is a really incorrect word, right? I think they export $200 billion more than they import. It's just trade. It's not, we're getting something. We're giving money and getting something back. It's not like we're just giving them $200 billion. Yeah, it's like I'm subsidizing McDonald's when I go there and buy a Big Mac. It's like, I'm not subsidizing them. Bro, it's just trade. It's not generosity. It's not because I'm a nice guy. It's because I traded something for something I wanted. And my understanding is that, whether it is lumber or whether it's labor at a car factory or whether it's aluminum, it's cheaper for us, American companies, to buy it from there than have a value add, than sell a higher value product than it is to try to have the entire supply chain inside American borders when Canada's right there on our north. So I don't think this is the right way to look at it.
And to be honest with you, Canada only works as a state. We don't need anything they have. As a state, it would be one of the great states anyway. This would be the most incredible country visually. If you look at a map, they drew an artificial line right through it between Canada and the U.S. Just a straight.
Damn, it would be a banger country visually. Damn, wait a minute. Let's this is an argument by the president, all right? Show some respect. Now think about what a country that would be visually. Dude, it is kind of fucked up, Canada, that like you're in between us and Alaska, right? It does visually mess up the map. What if, let me propose a trade here, we get British Columbia. We get British Columbia so that it connects. And Canada, you get Ohio. You get Ohio. Okay? Handshakes right now. BC for Ohio. Take it or leave it. Deal. Art of the deal, baby. I wanted to get rid of Ohio. I would have given you Ohio for free. And we get Luka Doncic. Somehow. He's not Canadian, but we get him somehow. So I think that Trump is looking at this map and saying that, wow, wouldn't this country be so visually impressive if we had Canada and Greenland as well? That seems to be the crux of the argument. It's like, okay, but do you understand that if like Vladimir Putin said, wow, wouldn't Russia look so impressive if we also had Ukraine and the Balkans and Eastern Europe? It's like, sure, but that's not a reason to invade a country. People have national sovereignty in different cultures and a government, and they've chosen elected leaders. And you can't just say that the map would look cooler if we owned you, is my understanding. But maybe I'm dead wrong. The president's saying this.
Artificial line. Somebody did it. Makes no sense. It's so perfect as a great and cherished state. Keeping "O Canada," the national anthem. I love it. I think it's great. Keep it.
Okay, think about that, Canada. Here's what he's offering. Canada, 51st state, but the national anthem is "O Canada." Wait. I mean, technically, he could get what he wants and have it all be one country if he gave America to Canada. Do you know what I'm saying? What if it all was Canada? How is it a national anthem if Canada's a state? It's a great question. I think he's proposing getting rid of our national anthem and making it "O Canada."
Maybe our greatest state, but why should we subsidize another country?
Dude, hey, don't. Hey, you're still president of America. Don't neg all our great states by saying we'd be worse than Canada if it was a state. Don't. Hey now, you haven't even got the deal passed, all right? Don't knock the states on your team down. Canada would be our greatest state. Well, yeah, if they put it in as one state, if they take a country that big and it's one state, yeah, that'd be wild. It wouldn't make any goddamn sense, dude.
We don't need their energy. We have more than they do. We don't need anything. We don't need their cars. I'd much rather make the cars here.
Dude, what's so annoying about this whole dialogue, more than anything, well, no, I mean, obviously there's more to it, but what's so annoying is that he seems to think this speech will convince Canada. It's like, bro, there is zero shot they're just gonna wake up and do it. If you are, this would be a horrendous thing to do. It would be, dictatorial. But if he was like, listen, we're gonna conquer Canada or whatever, then at least I could understand his thought process. He's like, I want a bigger country. We're going to conquer Canada. They don't have nuclear weapons. It's an insane thing to do. It's horrendous to your allies. I don't support it anyway. But like, I could see it. But the way he keeps going about it is like, he's like sales pitching it and nobody's buying. It's like, why does he keep trying to like be like, man, it would be so awesome. We don't need your lumber and you'd be such a cool, you'd be the most beautiful state. It's not work. Nobody in Canada's like, wow, I'm really coming around. It's such an insane sales pitch.
And there's not a thing that we need. Now, there'll be a little disruption, but it won't be very long. but they need us. We really don't need them. And we have to do this. I'm sorry, we have to do this. Yes.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
you have made
Dude,
it
when you
very
say we
clear
have to do this, what is that?
NATO needs to step up. Although great progress has been made in your first mandate, how do you envision this new transatlantic?
Are you talking about NATO stepping up? Well, NATO is stepping up for this man. This man is a man that only knows how to step up. And
Yeah,
we
they're
have
glazing
the
each
same
other.
goal in mind. We want the war ended. And he's doing his job. He only knows how to do a good job.
Dude, what is this glaze fest? What are we talking about?
We're not doing it for that, though. I'm just doing this to get the war stopped. I'm doing it really to save lives. But at the same time, we were treated.
Bro wants that Nobel, and I want it for him. Trump, win the Nobel Prize. It would be the prediction of the century, dude. What a fucking coup. But I just want to give the counter argument that I think everybody wants to save lives. Everybody wants not everybody. There are some insane warmongers out there who wants the war to stop, but people want the war to stop with some sort of guarantee that the war won't start again. He won't die later. People are literally fighting and dying now to protect sovereignty so they don't die later. It's almost their struggle and deaths are in vain if you give all concessions for a temporary ceasefire. That's the whole point, is you're making their deaths purposeless. It's disingenuous to frame it as like we have to end it to save lives, and anyone doesn't want to do that hates saving lives. It's like, I think most people want the fucking war to end and lives to be saved, but the reason they died to begin with is to protect their borders, their nation, their sovereignty that was invaded against all international law, and to protect it from being just conquered later.
And one more, there's some new internal Democrat polling that doesn't look great for Democrats, but it also has 54% unfavorability for Republicans in swing states and battlegrounds for the midterms. Do you consider those voters capturable for Republicans?
Yeah, well, we did. I won every swing state, as you know, by a lot. I think winning from the Democrats, if you look the other night, I made a speech, and I introduced two young ladies who were killed. Unbelievable, both outstanding people. They were killed by illegal aliens, and the Democrats wouldn't get up and applaud. The mothers were, inconsolable. They were crying.
Is this the speech we watched?
Everybody was crying. The Democrats sat there with stone faces. They didn't clap. They didn't stand. They didn't do anything.
I will say this, man, I just wish I could Homer Simpson whoever's doing marketing or strategy at the DNC. It's like, whoever's idea it was to do the coordinated pink outfits at the in what world is that a fucking good messaging strategy? It's fucking insane. I think they're gonna have a great midterm no matter what, because I saw that Nate Silver had a new thing today. Most people made this bargain. They said, I'm voting Trump because I think there'll be a great economy and then he's going to do some stuff related to the woke. Basically, most people were like, I don't give a shit about the culture stuff. It'll make some left-wingers mad. Fine, great. You're going to make the economy great. Great. That was the bargain that was made. They will not care about that stuff, but it's not working out that way, bro. It's like the fucking economy's not doing good at all. So the approval rating's falling pretty steady clip. I think by the midterms, it'll be like an easy tap in, assuming they can get even 1 ounce of coherent messaging. But maybe that's asking too much. How do the midterms work? It's in 2 years, and it's for House and Senate, 2026. Yeah, but this is Drew. This is a political article. They have a brand problem. This should be so easy to run against, dude. Stock market's down $5 trillion. In like 2 months. Tariffs are fucking driving up prices. Small business uncertainties at all-time highs. CEO confidence to reinvest in America is plummeting. It was like high at the election, but it's plummeting dramatically. It's like all these things are real easy to run against if you can get... the only one that seems good at talking about it is Bernie. And Bernie's old, so we'll see. Do you think Biden is sitting so smug right now? Not really, bro. I'm not... Listen, I'm very critical of Trump with how he's been behaving as president. I'm very critical of it, but I have no Biden pumper. I have a lot of criticisms of Biden too. I just think, at least he had some stability. It is funny though, seeing people on like Wall Street bets or whatever. They're like, please come back, Sleepy Joe. Please, Sleepy Joe.
And I never saw anything like it. I'm standing up and I introduced the mother and the parents of these two young girls that were just recently essentially killed, violently killed. And the Democrats are like this. It's so sad.
You could argue that it's also sad to pull up a recently deceased or family member of a recently deceased person and use them as a political prop in the middle of a speech, and then use that to insult your political opponents. You could say that's also possibly, not that I love the Democrat strategy of sitting in that room with color coordinated outfits and little signs. A-Truck both sidesing. I'm not both sidesing. Okay, what I'm doing is I have very strong opinions on what I think is right, and I don't like if somebody, again, who shares my opinions is incompetent. Because it only hurts my opinions. Do you understand? I feel like that's been my theme for 6 months. It's not like I don't like giving people a pass because this guy's worse or whatever. The reason the Democrats suck is because they're all corrupt and brought by big money. The only reason someone like Bernie or even you can actually call both sides because they're not corrupt. If you think that big corporate interests paid the Democrats to wear matching pink, you're delusional. It's like, no, they didn't, dude. It's just, it would be a nicer explanation. You're being too generous. It's just bad messaging. It's just bad marketing. Money is in politics in all sides of this fucking conflict, all right? Money in politics is the rot at the heart of America, for sure. The ability for corporations to write their own legislation that governs them is the problem, 100%. But the idea that the DNC is designed by a Machiavellian group to do badly in elections is, I think, untrue. I think it's wishful thinking, honestly. I think they're just bad at it. They're just not good at it. They have an insular view on what will work. They just have fairy tale economics policies. Bro, that is a bold thing to say when the side currently in power is trying to force tariffs down mid, bro. The fucking tariffs fairy tale is like pretty stupid too. I'm not gonna say there's not some I mean, you know, MMT is something I'll blow my shit off smooth if I have to talk about more time. But what I'm not seeing is concrete, realistic economic policies anywhere. Realistic long-term thinking in economics is not, it's not in the political sphere at all in America. Big A, you still doing an MMT presentation? We might do it on Lemonade Stand. It might be me and Aiden, because he read the book, the Kelton book. I think it'd be more fun if I did it with other people and we could talk and have debates. I'm thinking of doing a nuclear energy one, but we're all pro. So I need to find someone willing to do the research and try to steel man the opposing for, maybe we'll get a guest or something. Maybe Dan Clancy.